After being diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's, what was most distressing was seeing a giant reduced to a shadow, a slither of his former self. He was a brilliant writer of countless incisive and entertaining columns and numerous books, a broadcaster, a former minister, a man of engaging wit, a raconteur of the first order, who could no longer write or relish his daily newspapers, and even watching his beloved rugby union on television would make no sense at all. Our only consolation is that he was never given his estimated date of departure. He just waited and faded, and at some point probably forgot he was dying, and then passed away peacefully in his sleep at 1 a.m. or thereabouts on December 18 last year. Aside from myself, Dad left behind my mother, my brothers Martin and Adam, his daughter-in-law Annette, and 3 adored grandchildren, Elia, Jarrah and Anna, and his brother Paul and his sister Raina. What matters to me most now is I know he loved his family fiercely, and he showed it, and he did what he set out to do from the beginning, to serve. He did it, and he did it well by any measure. He did his best. I love my dad with and without his flaws. I'm very proud of his achievements. I join you all in celebrating a big life. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. That was well done. And I want to wish you, your brothers, your mum and children complete healing and only happy things from here on. May you not know of any more suffering. The final tribute will come from Dr. David Pross. And Dr. David is the director of the Gungahlin Tribal Link Aboriginal Corporation.
First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the land I stand on, the Ngunnawal people, and like to thank Auntie Jeanette for that brilliant welcome to country. And also to Barry's First Lady, Ray as he used to call them when we were together, and the boys. I'm emotional, for giving me this great honour to talk about one of my great friends. I think Barry's first contact probably come with his beloved nanny, May May. And we often spoke how May talked a lot about, because May was an Aboriginal woman, about Aboriginal issues. And I'd like to acknowledge that her beautiful daughter, Auntie Pam, is in the audience today. She made it. And yeah, it's just, that's where it all come from. He used to say May was so good, and I learned a lot of things. He was in, as everyone said, the 1967 referendum. And I think that sort of brought him into politics, he told me. In the 1970s, he was with, I've got to remember now, Labor Party's Aboriginal Affairs Committee. He was on there. And he was telling me one time when he was in Walgett with this committee, how a doctor and him were sitting on the river down there, probably having a drink now in Walgett, our mob up there, but they have them down there having a drink. And the doctor brought up about how our kids, after leaving the breast, how they go backwards. Malnourishment, not the right foods, not the right climate of living, sewerage, the whole lot. So by the time they hit school, they shouldn't be at school. They should be at kindergarten. And that really concerned Barry. And he fought and fought from then on for better rights for our people. And just those little things that I'll remember. Handing back to Villaroo. We're sitting there talking, he was talking about Paddy Uluru. What a great time he had with Paddy. And I said, oh, Roger, his grandson, is our grandson's godfather. And he was, oh, wow, I'd love to meet him. So I think you remember, Roger, how many times you end up coming up to the park. So I brought Roger up to the park, and him and Barry had a lot of conversation. Adam and I were laughing the other night. Roger was walking through for the first time. They had this mad emu called Pauline. And he said, oh, good morning, breakfast. So we're sitting out the front there. Roger's got a lovely steak and salad and the fantastic pasta salad Adam used to make, and he was really enjoying it. Pauline come and got his plate and threw it away. There was breakfast for her, you know. So those type of things. We also have a a picture our family really cherishes, and it's of our grandson sitting on Jack Thompson's lap, with Barry beside Jack, Roger behind Barry, and the painting of Uluru and the story of how Uluru got handed back to our mob. And it was through a lot of Barry, but he gave Clive most of the credit, and we know it come from Barry and all those other things he done. Excuse me. They're just a few examples of what he done for our culture while being a politician. Now, as a local member, Ray will probably remember this, Osties, when Ostie closed. Barry went in front of those 150 employees. My wife was one of them at the time, and and he said, "I'll try and get you employment." Well, there was many went up to Old City Town, 12 were interviewed, 6 got positions. My wife was one of them, and it's not nepotism. I didn't know her by then, so it wasn't a deal with Barry. They went on to work with Coles, Woolworths, I think Albany Felt, quite a lot, and I think nearly all those 150 people got a full-time position. That's when members were members and looked after their clients. You know, it was really good, the people they were there for. Then we get on to Walkabout Park. This is where I got back dealing with Barry, and one of the greatest times of our lives, I think. And we had some great times up there. Used to pick on me and Adam all the time. But the Walkabout Park, it was a dream of the Cohen family, to have a place where you could go and enjoy something, but learn about our Australian flora and fauna, and do it in an environment that was similar to being in the bush. And it battled and battled till they finally had to relinquish it. And I've always been peed off, is the word, that no state government or federal government ever supported and still doesn't support that park. It is a great environment for kids. I have taken that many kids there, that many TAFE students, university students, and they all wrapped in the place. Yeah, and some funny things at the park. One morning, Adam and I were there, and we could hear the old fella down there swearing, "Oh, you bastards, give me the shits on these trail bikes," and carrying on like he was going like a champion. So we were there, and we spotted their shirts and went, "Oh, they're coppers." Anyhow, Barry's giving them a hard time. Said he was going to ring the coppers. He was a personal friend of the local command. They both pulled their badges out. He said, "Oh, shit, I put my foot in the game, haven't I, boys?" And as he could. One day he calls me into the office up there, when it was the old office, and said, "Oh, I'm having trouble with the daughter." And I'm standing, "Daughter? He's got 3 boys. What's this daughter?" "Zoe, the kangaroo." Oh my God. And by the way, the 3 boys had a brother also, Rodney. He loved those kangaroos. He just loved animals and loved people. Another time, I think, Ray, if you remember coming over to my place when you were first up there, and he walks in having a coffee and went, "Jesus, you're a flash black, aren't you? Living in a 4-bedroom house? Look at this joint. I'm living in the vet's quarters." I said, "Only because you're Jewish and too mean, you won't build the First Lady a house." Which ended up building a beautiful house. We used to bag one another something terrible, me and him, especially with overseas students. And Adam used to walk away shaking his head going, "You two are just idiots." Once again, thank you for giving me this honour to speak. As I said, he's just a top bloke, and it's just to call him a comrade. I miss you, brother, and love you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Pross. We now have a presentation, Flowers of the Forest, by Pipe Sergeant Craig Dawson. The family now follows down the aisle, and everyone please extend to the family on their way through the words of comfort. This presentation concludes the formalities of the memorial service. Thank you.